What is up, everybody? I hear a little crack of the can. Cheers, my friend. It's the Rocky Mountains. I see. I love it. This is Dave Kleckner. That's Marc Tomasini. We are back for another edition. Philly Fourth and Go here on the Heat Ratio Sports Network. Had a week off last week, but man, we're back at it live. Can't wait to talk. A lot of big things in Philly since we've been off, but a lot of big things just recently over the weekend today, and we're going to get right into it. So once again, I'm that guy, D. Gleck. What's up, Philly Sports Source?
What up? What up? I would just like to decline my $47.3 million option. Same thing as James Harden.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying you anyway.
Cheers to him.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, we'll dive right into that because it's so fresh. It's so new, so fresh and so clean. But listen, we heard about it. News came down. I was at the ball fields earlier. And, first reaction was, what's he doing? Where's he going? He ain't going anywhere. Let's clear that all up. James Harden wants to play here. There's the reason he forced his hand to come here. He's got his boy in the front office, Daryl Morey. He ain't going anywhere. But what he did is he made a smart business decision for the Philadelphia 76ers. Maybe not for himself, but for the Sixers he did. And he's going to be really doing some things here that can help create some room potentially to bring in a couple of guys. Let's start off the one
Dave, you there? I think we lost Dave, so just waiting on that. While we were waiting for Dave, I think he was about to talk about the James Harden situation and how it works out.
All right. That was weird.
Yeah.
And we're going.
And we're back. I know it was going the whole time.
Yeah. Hey, cut that one out. Editor. I know. We'll get it. We'll figure it out. But I'll tell you what, when I ended, I was saying, hey, the one name coming here looks like a definite now is PJ Tucker. They had to do a little shuffling there. What are you hearing out there? And where do you think the Sixers are headed in this free agency period?
Yeah, well, just to even backtrack a little bit, I think this is something that James Harden had to do. Looking back, remember when he got here and he came into the press conference, remember he missed the option to opt in? Mm-hmm. I wonder if that was always something that they were going to evaluate. I know things were obviously fresh and they ended up playing well to start, but he missed his opportunity to opt in. And then when given the option to opt in, he decided not to. Obviously, you know, he knew. And I think that this falls on him. He had to realize that he came up short. And I think he's got to work hard. And I think for him to take that money, and if they couldn't, because he knew, and I think Darryl probably said, look, we can't run this back. We can't run it back with what we had. We got to make changes one way or another. So he went and he was like, I can make this work. Though, because here's the thing, say he opts in, he has a worse season. He'll get that $47 million, but then that's it because they won't re-sign him, even though it's going to be hard with Daryl Morey. He wasn't going to hold himself from doing it, but he had the opportunity to just be able to hang in there. He knows he's going to get a good amount of money. So I think this was the right option for him. In regards to who could be coming here, PJ Tucker, that's the name that's been drawn to them. They're still going to look into the Eric Gordons of the world. And the thing is they've opened up the mid-level exception and I forget what the BAE stands for, but you could get an Otto Porter on that. I mean, they could do some interesting options. It looks like it's just me again. So while we're going to keep rolling, this is exciting. I think it's a big thing. I think James Harden, like I said, he had to look in the mirror and look at himself and say, I have the opportunity to make this team better by taking a little bit. It's a lot of money that he's leaving on the table. I was thinking about this to myself earlier, to say it looks like he's probably going to get a deal that's worth like $35 million a year when he was going to get 47 for the 1 year. And you take out taxes off the top. I mean, say that 47 turns into 25. Now that, 38 turns into 17. So look, it's exciting. Hopefully it pans out. Hopefully James Harden plays better. He's already working. It's documented that he's getting to work. He's doing his thing. I think he's out in Texas. I know Sam Cassell is running his workout. So maybe he's really committed. That's the hope. Are we going to fall for it? Maybe. But right now I'm all in on falling for it. I hope that he takes this seriously. And I hope he's about to, turn up this season. We'll look forward and see what is going on that front. But all encouraging things. And the fact that they're going to be, besides the fact that the Sixers are looking to add, and they've also talked about sign-in trades. There's a lot of options for them. I saw something that Tobias Harris was made available. Maybe we'll see. Hopefully there is some truth to that maybe the Kings would be interested. I don't know how that happens. I mean, I know teams can take on salary and we wouldn't get much back in return. But I would like to see if the Sixers are able to open up some cap space and do some things, but only time will tell. Let's see. So while we still wait for Dave, I was kind of going through the whole, situation of what could happen. And
yeah.
I was touching on the whole PJ Tucker thing. But you go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, bud. Who knows what happens in the Gleckner household, man? It's been a while since I had some internet issues. I got to keep an eye on these little guys upstairs. They're probably streaming.
The bandwidth.
Yeah. But yeah, listen, I think, the foreshadowing move, Cease, thanks for checking in, buddy. Hopefully I hold a connection for a little bit here. And yes, I do think they're getting PJ Tucker. Yes, I do think it's a good move. I'm not a huge PJ Tucker guy, but I do know you need those glue type of guys to build a team. And I feel like he is that kind of guy. Here's the thing. I think he's a lot like Tobias Harris. I think he's a lot like, stick him in a corner, make him play some good defense, maybe get some backdoor cuts. I don't see how he fits into – because that's what Tobias is aiming for, right? A spot-up three-point shooter. So I don't see how a PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Maxey works. Right. I just don't – I don't know that the spacing is quite correct there. So for me, I think you need a little more athleticism on the wing, and I'm hoping I'm hoping there's foreshadowing getting PJ would actually move Tobias and free up Bradley Beal.
Yeah, I mean, they've talked about, Beal turned down his option because, Washington has the opportunity to give him, the Supermax deal. Washington did make a trade today, which kind of caught my eye a little bit because it does bring some talent in. Monte Morris and Will Barton, who I've always liked, to get out Ish Smith and KCP. I think that's them trying to make staying in Washington suitable for him. It's an attempt. I really don't think they have much to work with. I really think it's just signing Beal and hoping on a prayer. But really, like, he talks about the fact that he wants to go out there and he wants to say he tried winning. You're not doing it there. Like, you're really not. And it's not being biased. It's not saying that, hey, come here. There's 10 other places you could go that you'd have a legitimate shot winning a championship, adding a player like that. And I don't think it's there. But I mean, I would love to see that. I mean, it would be crazy if they can make this work. Obviously, I mean, if they can sign Tucker, they can then,
doing something else, right? I mean, it's not just Tucker. There's another move in the works.
There has to be another move in the works.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. The way that Woj put it out there, he said has to do with Harden opting out, and he also mentioned sign and trades on top of the MLE and the BAE.
Yeah.
So they mentioned sign and trades. So there has to be something. And I think it was Windhorst who said that Morey has this grand plan that he had coming into the offseason. I think Harden opting out and being able to strike up a deal is part of it.
Yeah, so you know what I can't do though? I can't do Eric Gordon and PJ Tucker, and that's it. I just can't. Like, I'm not going back to the Rockets that lost. I can't. It doesn't work for me.
But that might be what we're looking at. Don't be surprised. I hope it's something more. Maybe there's something in the works. I don't know. But
well, let's go back to draft night because that was an interesting trade there, right? Did you talk about our boy coming over from Memphis yet? Melton?
No, D'Anthony Melton.
Real interesting point there. It almost reminds me a little bit of the Josh Richardson deal where you're bringing over a guy that's in the second year of a 4-year deal. I want to say something in that range, $8 to $10 million over the next.
I think he's got 2 years left.
Oh yeah, over the next few years, a guy that can shoot, but he's actually a better dribbler, penetrator than Richardson was, and he does play some good defense.
Very athletic.
And think about it, you gave away Danny Green,
right? Who might not play at all.
He's probably not playing. Yeah,
and you shed some cap. You earn at least like 1.5 for the year, more towards your cap.
So already the pieces are starting to move. For me, I really thought there was a big hole in the bench in the playoffs. Niang obviously was atrocious, especially in the Miami series. Had decent Toronto series here and there. I'm not blaming anything on Niang to the point he just can't be that first guy.
He is what he is.
Yeah, he can't be that guy we rely on. He's got to be a guy that, some nights get you 13, some nights get you 0, but the 0 doesn't hurt you. In the playoffs, it hurt us. So I think that was it was an addition to add a power player off the bench, which I love. So I think the Melton deal, fantastic. Really, what else are you doing with pick 23? I mean, the dude that
might be losing Dave again. But I think if I can decipher that, he was. Oh, you there? I got you now.
Yep.
I was gonna say, were you alluding to Jaden Springer?
No, I was alluding to the guy that we traded as part of Green.
Oh, the guy from the Mountain West.
Yeah, Colorado State.
Rod or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I wasn't worried about that. I'm saying, like, listen, they don't have a first-round pick next year either now. So,
yeah.
It was like, you got to move up for players now. You do. So I was okay with it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. That's kind of like what I was alluding to. Then the point that I was going to make is Jaden Springer, he was a rookie. He really didn't spend any time with the team. Maybe there's something there. I don't know, but it's not. Rookies like that, anything past 10 really
Yeah.
don't contribute in the beginning. So
Right.
it's not, and it's not, that's not, we're not here to develop at this point. We're trying to put the best team on the floor that we possibly can put. And a rookie, a 23rd pick. Now, we got lucky with Maxey, but here's the thing with Maxey. If it were any other year but COVID, we would not have Maxey on our team. He probably is a lottery pick. He didn't get
Yeah.
it because when the lights are bright, he comes on and he plays, and he would have been a guy that really showed his worth in the NCAA tournament. But because there was no tournament, like I said, De'Aaron Fox, really good player, but he really earned his keep in the NCAA tournament. And I think Maxey would have had the same effect if there was a tournament that year.
No, I agree. I think we got totally stone cold lucky with that pick. And I think everybody knows that. But it was a little bit of the Kentucky syndrome. And if you're watching it this year, I think that Kentucky kind of benefited a little bit from that. A few of the guys went really high. One of them went high, and he hadn't played since, I want to say, October.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was one of those, we're not going to miss on a Kentucky guy again. A lot of GMs looking at the Maxey effect. When Kentucky went out in the first round, don't forget, against, what was it, St. Peter's?
I think.
The team up in Jersey and then in Newark.
St. Peter's or St. Mary's, something like St. Peter's.
Yeah. The Peacocks.
Yeah.
That's all I remember, something like that. So, yeah, see, they got to kind of get rid of some of that pollution on the bench. But guys I still like are guys like Paul Reed. I think he's going to do just fine you can roll him in as the backup center. And I got no problem. I know some people were actually throwing out there again, bringing Drummond back. Man, I'll tell you what, I don't need it. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't need it.
I wouldn't be opposed to it if you get him on a cheap deal. I just don't think. I think the whole point is he made his bones here this past season with us.
He did. Yeah.
I really didn't see as much of what he did with the Nets, but I think he earned his keep this past season. He was a very good backup for Joel Embiid, and I think he's going to get closer to starter money. So, but if he wanted to come back here, that would be great to me. That's just how I feel about it. Where Paul Reed, I think all he has to do is just learn how to not get into foul trouble. And Dave is hanging on by a thread. There he is now. You there? Howie. I see you moving. I don't hear you.
How about now?
Yes.
Dude, I did this is amazing. Comcast is going to get something from me later. But anyway, yeah, hey, I was saying, what's the next shoe that drops now for you, Marc Thomasini? Because I tell you, we've already alluded to a handful, but where are you at?
It's tough because I don't really see how they get somewhere. It's going to be interesting. Because it sounds like the PJ Tucker deal is going to happen at 6:00 tomorrow night. It sounds like that's happening. I mean, you got to see what happens with Jalen Brunson. I think that's going to be something to watch for, because what was thought to be a sure thing to the Knicks, Miami's a dark horse team, and even though the Knicks can offer him money, I think the Heat, if they're throwing their hat in the game, I think they're a good option. I mean, who doesn't want to go down to Miami, play on that team? So you're going to see. I'm trying to think of what the other big deals are. I mean, I don't think Beal makes a decision right away.
No.
I'm just trying to think of what else affects us. Are there any other trade pieces?
I guess my point with Beal might have been, could you move Harris for him? Because Washington's going to want to get something. He'll go in the side and trade. Is that enticing enough for Washington to say, all right, at least we're getting something, or is that too expensive for Washington? They'd rather not have a Tobias.
I mean, I still don't get how you would be able to trade Tobias for Beal straight up.
Salary-wise, it's going to be close, right?
Salary-wise, it makes sense, but why would – I mean, unless Washington knows he's hell-bent on not being there.
But why would you do Jimmy Butler for Josh Richardson? You know he's gone.
Right.
Beal doesn't want to be there, so at least preserve something.
Right.
And that's my only hope. That's the shoe that drops that I hope. But you're right. Outside of that, big news: Devontae Murray got moved tonight
Yes, yes.
on his way to the Hawks for 3
Oh,
first-round picks, and Danilo Gallinari feels like a steal, an
yeah.
absolute steal for the Atlanta Hawks. Pairing
That
him with Trey
backcourt is
Young
something else.
is a nightmare. I don't understand what San Antonio is doing. Maybe they're foreshadowing that they can't afford him and just trying to reap now. But yeah.
Let's see. We're gonna hold on for a minute and see if Dave is there. Right now he's frozen. But man, that DeJounte Murray deal is something for Atlanta. They're gonna be exciting to watch, whether you like it or not, whether you like Trey Young's style or not. The two of them, that backcourt is gonna be something. They still got some players there. If they don't trade John Collins, they still have John Collins. They have Herter, Clint Capella if he doesn't go. Could be very interesting to see what the Atlanta Hawks are going to be. That's going to be fun basketball to watch, except when you're playing them. That's going to be very frustrating. But Murray's been a player on the rise. That's honestly somebody that I would have liked to have seen gotten in return for Ben Simmons. When they were talking trades. I mean, obviously Halliburton was my other one. But Murray is a player, and him next to Trey Young, the sky's the limit with them. I don't know if they have a complete enough team to be a full contender, but they're going to be back in that 3, 4, 5 slot. They're going to be competing. I think that they both can stay healthy. That really changes the landscape of the league a little bit. I'm trying to think of what other deals are out there. Oh, go ahead.
Honestly, should we just scrap this thing?
Yeah.
I can just delete it, and that's like 5 times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. It's just nasty. It's not going to look good.
Yeah, it's not.
I really don't know what's going on. I've never had a problem. I have good internet in my house. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
I turned off every device. I reset routers. I mean, we can go, but I almost think, are you around tomorrow?
I don't know. I may not be.
I know we're still live. I'm just, I don't know. We can go for a little bit if you want, and I can try and, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've been able to talk while you were gone for the past couple parts. I was just talking about, I'm trying to think of what other show. It's just saying how nasty that Atlanta Hawks backcourt is going to be. I think they're going to be a contender, not a hard contender, but I think they're going to be in that 3, 4, 5 range. I think they're going to be competing.
Oh, I think they're a hard contender now. I actually do.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a team that was, playing in the, Eastern Conference Finals. I know a little fortunate, but
right.
I still think you got some solid players down low. They didn't get rid of John Collins. I know they got rid of what's his name to New York, Cam Reddish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it freed up some spots. They still are dangerous down low.
They still have Collins, they still have Capella, they still have Herter.
Yeah. I think they're good, man. I think they are good. I think when you look at a team like Brooklyn that could be, one rip away at the seams from just blowing the thing up. I'm probably with you that they're definitely top 5, could even be top 3. That's how good Murray is. I'm a Murray guy.
I am too.
Yeah.
I was saying that's actually somebody that I would have, when they were talking about the Ben Simmons trade, when he was trying to get out of here, that would have been somebody I would have been interested. I mean, the whole package that San Antonio would have brought, I don't know if it would have been the most amazing one. I would say probably the 3 players that I wanted the most were Harden, Halliburton, and Murray. Those were probably my top 3 of anything that was being offered, or whether it was offered or not, hearsay. But Murray would have been
mine really was definitely Lillard for.
Oh, I put Lillard as not happening. So. But I like I said, I didn't know. I thought for a while that Lillard wasn't going to happen. So, I mean, I guess McCollum was another one, somebody who actually did get traded. I'm a big CJ McCollum fan, but I think I would like the prospect of Murray more because he's younger. and what you could do with him. And I think we lost Dave again. I know I can't put this on the screen, but Adam Cease coming in with Phillies lost again. Yeah, 4-1. Marc Appel, he finally hit the big league field for first time ever, even though he was drafted 9 years ago as the first overall pick, traded here from Houston, and was able to make his debut and threw a scoreless inning. So, yeah, it's a good story, but, with Bryce Harper's injury, it's going to be tough to recover from. It's going to be up in the air to see what they do. Do the Phillies address, an outfield position? Do they go Benintendi or the kid from Oakland? Time will only tell. But the Phillies do lose 4-1 to the Braves tonight. It's tough. Braves keep on winning. Phillies are somewhat just hanging in there. It's going to be tough in this NL. Like they need to make probably 2 moves before the All-Star break and sooner than later to really be able to make this a season or not, because, losing Segura and Harper, besides the fact that Schwarber has been hitting bombs left and right in the month of June, and June's just about to be over, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So we will see what happens with the Phillies. It's tough. They've had injuries not go their way, and, Harper can't play outfield. Thought that was bad enough. No, now he's got a broken thumb and can't even play. So it's going to be tough for this team moving forward. I still have some hope. I still have some faith. Hope they make a deal for Benintendi soon. John Morosi put out there that the Phillies would be a suitor for him. I think the Blue Jays were another one.
It's my last chance.
I was touching on the Phillies a little bit because Adam Cease mentioned that the Phillies lost again, so I was going into the Phillies for a little bit. But
no, that's awesome. I gave it one last college try. I did the computer restart. Let's see if that, now I'm going through all the options.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Hey, great road trip by the Phillies. 4 out of 5, or was it 5 out of 6? No, 4 out of 5 in DC, right? Well,
yes.
And then you get lose 2 to Texas. Okay, got it. But 3 out of 4 in San Diego is huge. And lose to Atlanta hurts, stings.
Yeah.
But if we can get tomorrow, I think that'll be a big victory. You got Nola going against one of their so-sos in Ian Anderson.
So you hope that it can happen. I was kind of saying how it's kind of a tough road now for the Phillies with Harper being out, and with the scenario. That's McDonald's Wi-Fi.
I got the value meal.
Wow. Oh my god!
I got the cheeseburger.
But I was saying, it's going to be tough with the Harper injury now. Segura's out. There's been talks that maybe the Phillies could be in on and Andrew Benintendi,
Yes.
who was with Dombrowski in Boston, won a World Series with him up there. The Royals are not doing anything, so he's probably going to be on the move. Or there's a kid out in Oakland. Is it Laureano?
Yeah, Raphael, or yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
something like
few
that.
I'm huge on. I think he's batting
Yeah,
like in the top 5 or 6 in the AL. Like it, and like you said, good bat, but center fielder.
yeah,
That's the worst
yeah.
position we have on the team.
Right. I mean, it's they should have been looking this way even before Harper got hurt. I
Right.
know it's a lot of. I mean, imagine if you did that before. We were talking about them. Bringing in Kiermaier or something before the season. I mean, it's just something that you need to do. Not the bats aren't doing much better anyway than what Kiermaier would bring you. So, I think if they got a Benintendi, it would help. And I think they need a relief pitcher sooner than later too. For them to be able to hold up while Harper is out. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think so too. Bullpen was actually decent until last night when Bellotti or
I don't understand. You had Dominguez and Bellotti warming up.
Yeah.
And you went with Bellotti and he gets torched.
And I think he's having he's having a few bumps in the road for sure. Rob Thompson is, but yeah, that was a questionable. And Bellotti looked okay, but not okay enough. The guy just leaves too many over the plate, and he got hammered.
Yeah,
and the Braves bullpen on the other hand just shut down City. Like,
and they don't even have Kenley Jansen right now.
Yeah, he got hit up against the Dodgers a little bit last weekend.
He's got that irregular heartbeat thing, so they've shut him down.
Yeah, but I know he blew the lead on Sunday, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
They shut him down right after that. So, the Phillies, big news though. Did you talk about Harper yet?
Yeah, about that he broke his thumb. I was just saying it's going to be hard without him there, but yeah.
It's hard without him there, but it's an unfortunate situation. A lefty tries to come in a little inside on him, and he's not trying to hit him. I get it, but it's the one area that you're not protected anymore, right? You can go up there with all the armor in the world, look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but the hands are exposed, and they're the easiest things to break. And I hate to say it, but it just feels like our luck. Like, we get on this little roll, we start moving. I mean, he got hit in his head
last year.
Yeah, last year and missed.
It was last year, and he still ended up winning
in St. Louis, and I think he was like 3-4 weeks. I don't know. Sometimes it just feels like we can't have good things.
You're right about the luck because he has this UCL issue. Yeah, it's like okay, he can't be in the outfield, and even though he's not a Gold Glove outfielder, he's above average, and there is a big drop off when he's not in the outfield, but you live with it because he's raking at the plate. So you're like, fine. Now he breaks his thumb.
Yep.
And he can't be out there at all.
Yep.
It's like it's already bad enough he can't play in the outfield. Now he's nothing.
Yeah, it hurts. There's not a real replacement, obviously, for Bryce Harper, but not for the MVP. But it even hurts more when, right now, the outfield is one of the thinnest positions they have. So
sure,
it's gonna hurt. The good news is the Phillies do kind of have schedule easing up here.
Yeah.
So I think there's some chance to rebound. But here's what we're hearing: Phillies won't put a timeline on it, but we're hearing 8 weeks. I've heard as little as 4. Right. I don't think we see 4. Let's take the middle. Let's take the 6. So where does 6 put us? 6 puts us. You miss almost a week for the All-Star game. So it puts us at 5. And 5, 6 from today puts us out to pretty much first week in August.
A little before mid-August being safe.
But missing with 5 weeks to 6 plus games, 30 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
30, 40 games max. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a quarter of a season. Can they survive this stretch? And I think, I'm not trying to be this eternal optimist, but I really do think they can still do well here. The pitching is solid. Noah, he's very unfortunate, but has been great. Wheeler's been great. Suarez actually pitched a pretty solid game tonight. Eflin goes down with that knee soreness. I can survive without that for a little bit. Let him get that fixed. And Gibson on any given night, pretty solid. I think they're going to have to win with pitching here on out for the next month and a half. And I think they can do it. Like you said, need a bullpen arm. But you got the Cards coming into town. But after that, it's Nationals, Cards again, Blue Jays, tough. But then you're Marlins, Cubs, Pirates. Like,
you hope that they can they're going to need a rake. They're really going to need to do it.
Mm-hmm. And you're getting a month like we haven't seen since Jim Thome and Kyle Schwarber. Can we do that again? I don't know. But he's doing his best to try and hold us on. I don't know if he got on base tonight, but I know he had 30 straight games coming into tonight where he got on base.
Yeah, I didn't catch the whole game, so I don't know if he did or not. I can check that now. But I mean, I saw on Twitter, I forget who tweeted it, but somebody was like, we just need somebody to keep every newspaper away and just be with him at all times and just let him know that it's still June, even though it's not.
Yeah. I love it.
June is amazing.
I love it. And, Cease makes a great point. Mets did get swept. It ain't the Mets I'm worried about anymore.
I was just going to say, the Braves keep winning.
Yeah.
We were at the same point. Now the Braves are just running away.
Yeah, and I mean, the Mets are solid. Don't get me wrong. And it's great, but maybe they come down for the wild card now. But it's crazy how this team, the team we're playing tonight, has just taken on a new identity over the past month and a half, and just started to tear it up.
Yeah.
44-32 when they were sitting almost 8 games under 500 earlier this season, and they're sitting there. What is it? 1.5 out of first now.
Yeah.
3. It says 3. Okay. Yeah, but they're right there.
They're there. Yeah. And the Mets have been battling injuries and stuff. So it's
yeah, Schwarber did go for 4. I see that now. Not getting on base. Hey, so Mark, with the guys out, with Harper out, with Eflin out, still got playoff hopes on your mind?
It's going to be very tough. I would say I put the chances at 45%.
Okay. Let me give you
below half. Before, I thought, with Harper only being able to bat, fine, he'll be able to do enough with his bat to matter. But it hurts if not everybody's stepping up. And is Schwarber always going to play this well? We don't know, like we said. So I'd say 45% that they make it.
And they're pretty much 3 games out of the last wild card right now. And the one team they're trailing is the St. Louis Cardinals. So you get to see them this weekend, and then you get to see them pretty quickly afterwards. So, I think that's a good thing. Especially you'll get Wheeler lined up. 8-11 and 1-run games is probably hurting them a little bit here. They just don't. They got to win by bashing the ball. And you said it.
Yeah.
It's got to be hitting season from here on while Harper's out. I do think the pitching can carry you so far, but without the bullpen arms and the confidence back there, the removal of Knable's been good. Good for him, good for the Phillies. But outside of that, this bullpen is still trial by error every single night.
Sure.
All right, man. I know we got some news on the Eagles front here. And wait, let me answer that. I'm going to say it's 50% on the playoffs. So we're right there. Right there. I do think your 45 is kind of spot on. But if you give me 45 now in June and we're playing baseball until September, and it's meaningful, I'll take that. So
plenty of time. Right.
All right. Give me a little tidbit on what's happening in Eagles world. I know we're coming up to July. July is usually the start of training camp. It is again this year. So we're going to see that, I think, the second week in July here. But you got a little news out there. Number 26. Yapping a little?
Yeah, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. If you go back into 2011, I think right after the strike, I believe there was a work stoppage. I believe it was 2011, if I'm not mistaken. The Eagles went on a shopping spree because it was a short. The strike broke, I think, at the beginning of the summer. They had a short training camp, and they signed Ronnie Brown, Vince Young, Steve Smith, the wide receiver, not the go one, but another Steve Smith from the Giants. Who was that Namdi? Anyway?
Yeah, Namdi.
Vince Young dropped the dream team. Well, Miles Sanders was talking to, I believe it was John Clark of NBC 10, NBC Sports Philadelphia. and he said it feels like we have a bunch of all-stars out there. I get it. We're excited, but my issues are, and I like Miles Sanders coming into the league. Penn State guy, so big fan of his, but he's able to bust these big runs out somewhat, but he never runs straight. He's always trying to make the last move. He's trying to make defenders miss on the outside. And I think it actually is a detriment to them. I think we've seen more effectiveness with, the Jordan Howards of the world. I'm interested to see what Kenneth Gainwell can do for them this year. You and I are both big on him. But for him to come out and drop the all-stars, it's PTSD.
Yeah, it is. And the worst part is, going to Penn State, I think the kid's actually from outside of Pittsburgh. I got to go back and look. Maybe he doesn't have that kind of, insight into, that type of damage that quote could do, but someone's got to give him some insight. And here's my concern with that. And, back then it was Andy Reid. We had a stable coach, a team that was maybe, I want to say 2-3 years removed off an NFC championship that they lost to the Cardinals. So, we still had a little momentum and definitely some players with experience. And when you had a coach with experience, and we kind of start to lose that touch there and lose that team once we start talking that smack. Now you got a guy in Sirianni. I don't know, man, how he can react to that. In my mind, he probably swallows it up, is all excited. Not me. I'd put a gag order on a guy like that. Right now I'd say, shut up. We aren't anything until we hit that field in September and we start getting dubs, because, all you are is a target now.
Right. And my thing is, I think everybody's starting to get carried away because you hear the reports from training camp about, oh, Jalen looks good. Some people are saying he doesn't, but, talking about we're going to have 2,000-yard receivers. Look, we got to make sure the guy can be the quarterback first. We got to figure that out too. I love everything that they did this offseason. They pretty much did what we wanted them to do. They actually went out and got a safety in Jaquiski Tart from San Fran. He is the guy who did drop that interception that hit him right in the chest.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Should be known, but he's a good in the box type of safety. He's physical. He can break through the line. I think he's going to be good in that way. Look, coverage is what coverage is. I think they're still going to give Marcus Epps a try and see what he can do. He's a good hard hit. Both of these guys are hard hitting safeties.
Yeah, competition's a good thing.
What?
Competition's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you have that competition, I think, is excellent.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. They've done everything right, but I don't want to. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Look, there's a lot to be excited about, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. The team needs to prove it now. So when we got guys like Miles Sanders, who has not proven much in his career, saying stuff like that, I get it. He's excited and I know malicious, but it's just that moniker that you can't put on yourselves right now. It makes you a lame duck, but
it does. It does. Hey, there's a little bit of news out in Cleveland this week in the NFL too. I guess just the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Does Watson start at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns this year in week 1?
I think he does. I think we're looking at.
He settled on.
I'm seeing stuff that looks like 6 to 8 weeks, probably. Suspension, yeah.
To start the season, you think, or you think that takes time to?
I don't know how that, because they always find a way to, if there's an appeals process, he can play, and then it just starts when they make the final ruling. I feel like they want to make this a situation that is locked up before the season.
But he was out all last year. They're going to add more?
Yeah, but he was out, but that was personal.
Yeah. That's a suspension. What's up, DG, my man?
He's not paid.
Yeah, I know. I'm probably with old school on this one. I'm kind of thinking the guy shouldn't play, and maybe that's why Baker is still hanging on by a thread out in Cleveland.
That situation is so messed up too, because there recently has been talks that he could be on his way out.
Well, here's my problem.
It could be.
I'll get on a box for a second with this. I got my man Calvin Ridley down in Atlanta.
Mhm.
who bet on a couple of games, I think in the amount of a couple $1,000.
Yes.
Maybe it was 10,000 at the most. It wasn't. It was like
Right.
pennies to him that he found on his couch. Let's be
Right.
honest.
Yeah.
And it wasn't against his team. And he's
Right.
just trying to get a little action. And it's all legal everywhere. I know it's not legal to NFL players. I get it, but he's not
Right.
even playing. He can't even affect the game. This guy's out for the year, right?
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
This guy has 24 sexual assault cases on him,
And
and
he's
we don't know what we're going to do with him, and he can still practice and play. Like it's just, and then you got this Roger Goodell, testifying to the Congress or last week,
yeah.
and they ask him about Dave Portnoy from Barstool and why you
Yeah.
suspended him from all NFL games. He's like, huh? I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a flat out lie.
Yeah.
Flat out lie. What
Yeah.
is this guy doing?
And
Like,
taking up for Daniel Snyder.
and taking off for Daniel Snyder. Yep.
That's the whole point. Is the whole point is that they wanted to get him on that because the whole they brought up the Portnoy thing just to see. It's almost like just to see
Yep.
how much involvement he has, and yet he knows about all this Daniel Snyder stuff, and he's doing what he's supposed to do as a commissioner. He's supposed to protect the owners, but like there comes a time where
Not at all costs. Not
Right.
at all. Yeah, I
Right.
agree. There comes
now
a time.
he signed his soul to the devil.
Yeah, and then so the NFL's always been weird with these cases of, we get this like weed. We get these minor things that are technically
Right.
legal in a lot of areas. I get,
Yes.
they aren't for the NFL, and I get
Right.
you
Not
need
their
to,
rules, but
their
still.
rules. But you get these moral issues and these things that are illegal
Right.
that tend to get less of a penalty, less of a punishment
It makes
than
no
these others.
sense.
It makes no sense. And that's where I'm at with Deshaun Watson. I know you're innocent until proven guilty in
Right.
this country, and I appreciate that about our law system. But at this point in time, if I have to weigh the Calvin Ridley versus Deshaun Watson, it's
Right.
not even close right now.
Right.
Free
I
Calvin.
Yeah. Yeah. That situation's all. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But all right, man. Listen, at least you saved the show for me tonight, because I'll tell you what, it was a rough one, but it looks like we got back on track here.
We did.
The only other thing I wanted to close out with is, the Stanley Cup Finals. Did you catch any of that at the end? Because I'll tell you, it was a good one.
I really did not get to.
Okay.
I know Colorado took care of business, but
It looks like we got our boy Tortorella. You locked that up. We're there. We talked about that a few weeks ago, but the cup was interesting. One of the first times I can say that the favorite coming into the season did win a cup. So kudos to Colorado. That was a game that got down 1-0 earlier on a Stamkos goal, and we're able to get the equalizer and the game winner in the second and hold on. Great series. But hockey, it's going to be something interesting here, because there are rumors spreading that Johnny Gaudreau was skating around, the Flyers practices. I think some of those are maybe a little stretch there. But what I will say is there will be a lot of talk coming into this offseason here of what the Flyers can do to rebuild and really rebuild the energy back in that building.
they get Johnny Hockey, and
Yeah,
we'll be
dancing. And I think it's almost a sell your soul type of deal here. Like, getting Johnny might really kill them from building the entire roster. It really will, probably. They don't have a ton of cap space. The only way they can probably create more cap space, unfortunately, is trade someone like Provorov, which I'm not really into right now. You could probably try Konechny, but I don't know a lot of teams. I don't think his value is there like Provorov is.
Right. People have been looking into it, though.
They have, and I can get it, but then you look at what they did last year with Ghost. Even though I get Ghost had to go, but out in Arizona, he did kind of revitalize himself. So I'm very tempered at the idea of trading Provorov. But, you bring Johnny here, you're going to need to create a little bit better of a roster. So they're going to have to think of some creative ways to do it. I'm not sure Chuck Fletcher's the guy, but I do know Tortorella will – look, he's a part-timer. That's what these guys are that yell, scream. Laviolette got us somewhere, part-timer. Vigneault got us somewhere real quick, part-timer. They don't last very long. So we'll see. But I think Tortorella will have his say, and he'll know how to build this a little bit with Fletcher. So that's my only probably part here where I'm a little excited that,
Yeah,
down the road, the Flyers could turn this around maybe quicker than I anticipated.
that's the hope.
Yeah, and then you look at a lot of what happened in the East. I mean, Pittsburgh's getting older quicker.
Right.
Washington's getting older quicker. New York is definitely one of the up and comers, especially getting to the Eastern Conference
They
Finals this
turned it
year.
around faster than I think anybody expected.
Yeah, but yeah, wow, good to know. Good to know. And diva is a strong word and one that
Especially
won't
for a
go
hockey
well.
player. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like calling a football player soft.
right.
Yeah, that's something that doesn't go well in hockey. So that's an interesting tidbit. I appreciate that. Cease, thanks, man.
Yep.
Couple speed bumps, but looks like the magic trick of the old restart. And look, I was a computer monitor back in college. I should have just remembered that. Just restart the computer. That's what I told everybody that came up to me when theirs didn't work. But anyway, yeah, good stuff on the Flyers. We're going to definitely keep close to them. But as we ring the bell here, because it's ringing and we're on our way out, Phillies, we both got it. They're there. They're going to have to persevere here. Looking at the Sixers, keep your eye on PJ Tucker tomorrow night. Marc's calling it. I'm calling it. He'll be the first one that drops. After that, I think there's going to be something that maybe we're not even tracking.
That has to be.
Yeah, we would love Beal, but I'm telling you right now, Tobias Harris is not a 76er next year. And then from there, Eagles will have to keep tabs. They do start in late July, but a lot of Jakari Tart, obviously nice little addition to the team as they keep adding small pieces to really build this roster. And they can do that when you only have a quarterback making $1 million. So they got to do it now. But with that, Marc, thanks for saving my butt. And we'll definitely be back next week to talk a lot more Philly 4 for 4. Until next week, I'm Dave. That's Marc. And we're out.